It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him. He just makes me say it. 17-year, folks, NFL veteran. Most guys barely make it 3 or 4. Wusses compared to this guy. 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. You know him as the great Dale Hellestrae. I know him as the guy that made a lot of money with NBA betting with NBA players on their games.
Oh,
Dale Hellestrae's here, everybody.
And I know you as the guy who somehow could take 3 naps in one day.
I took one yesterday. It was only like 30 minutes.
That's not what I'm hearing.
Well, he's lying. First of all, how would he know? Because he was asleep for like 3 hours yesterday afternoon.
Because every time he said he woke up, you were sleeping.
No, that's not true. He assumed I was. I was out getting dirty yesterday. Finding that giant hole in the pipe in my outside. And
so did it end up being a big leak or just hard to get to?
No. Well, it was hard to get to at first. That was my problem the other day and why I had the cuts on my head and I poked my eyeball out with a branch and all of that. By the way, I had great satisfaction yesterday because, Riley does landscaping stuff. So he brought all the tools over. I didn't have those over the weekend. So he brought those over, and we're just cutting we had to cut the tree way back to get back to the spot. But I saw that one branch, and I knocked my head out and almost knocked myself, and I was all,
bye-bye.
Took that sucker down, laughed at it. I stomped on it a little bit, made me feel better. I got home, and I had to deal with some stuff with my daughter, some school stuff or whatever we were working on. So we did that. And then I was waiting for Riley to come over. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take like a quick 30-minute nap here.
Okay.
I had a busy day yesterday. I wasn't planning on helping Riley until I saw what the project was. I was like, I'll go change and come help you. Then me and my daughter went and ran to Hobby Lobby. Had to get some yarn for the trip coming up. She's crocheting now.
Okay.
So we had to go get some yarn. So we did. She's got a permit, so she wanted to drive. That's the secret here. She wanted to drive. First time in my car, I turned off the one pedal braking. She did good, actually. She's been driving for the last week with her mom. Did good. Stuff like that. Got us there safe, got us home. No problems at all, actually. One time I was like, maybe you should start braking a little bit sooner. Maybe a little bit. She's like, I got it. As you see the license plate in your windshield, and you're like, maybe you should brake a little earlier next time. Other than that, it was a great drive. And then Riley came over, and I helped him trim back this tree and dig the hole. And
what's a one-pedal brake system?
Oh, yeah. It's the greatest invention ever. Regenerates the battery. I let go of my gas pedal, and it stops itself. Yeah, I don't have to use the brake pedal at all.
And that uses energy?
Recharges your battery, regenerates your battery.
Really?
Yeah, when you're braking. Yeah. I don't have to use my brake pedal. I don't remember the last time I used my brake pedal with my daughter driving yesterday. Got more and more use out of it than it's ever gotten with me driving the thing over the last year.
So you just see traffic and you just let off the gas?
Yeah. You have to be careful though. Because if you let off of it all the way, you really jerk forward. It stops fast, yeah. But so you have to get that little finessing touch down a little bit. But yeah, it's an electric car thing. Dale, it's an electric car thing. Just relax over there.
Way out of my league, Steve.
we don't have to brake like you normal folks do.
Way out of my league.
But my car's just bigger than her mom's got one of those small SUVs. But my car's bigger than what she's used to driving. And she stayed in the lane. Now I have lane assist, but I was watching, yeah. Here's the problem, though, with all the safety things. So I went through this with Ethan. All the safety things on cars, my car has every safety bell. Mine doesn't ding and stuff. Your seat vibrates and stuff. So you have to get used to that. So if a car comes up next to you and it's in your blind spot and you turn your blinker on, your left butt cheek starts vibrating. Or if it's on the right side, your right one. So you can tell where people are based off of where your butt's vibrating, right? So, but she doesn't check her blind spots because of all the safety stuff. And it's safe to do it. But yesterday I'm like, nope, check your blind spots. Because don't rely on that stuff. Because you're going to get in a car without that stuff and then careen into somebody or something. That's the hard part about this now. It's like, she's like, why? I could tell if somebody, because my driver's side mirror will start blinking and you'll feel the vibration and it tells you a car's there. And I'm like, not every car has this stuff. So that's the hard part now. I got to work. Check the blind spots.
Well, again, you got there, you got back, everybody's safe and sound.
Car's not dinged up. It's an easy drive. There's just construction cones and stuff, and it it swerves a little bit and everything. So like, you could tell she's getting a little nervous when we were getting by the In and Out because the road bends. It's like a sharp bend to get over there, and then all the construction cones. You could tell she was like no white knuckling it there for a little bit. It was pretty funny.
I'm sure with that. So now, did you pick up some yarn for you two? You can pick up knitting on the way over.
I'm gonna do knitting while Ethan or Ireland's driving me to California.
Or you're gonna throw her in on the freeway, huh?
I know. So yesterday I go, you ever been on the freeway yet? No, but I would entertain the idea of once we get out of town, it's just a 2-lane straight road to Yuma. I would entertain the fact of putting her in the car for a couple hours. Not for too long because she'll get tired and stuff. But maybe for an
Right.
hour or so, just have her just experience the open road.
I
It's a
ate.
straight road, Dale.
Yeah, I ate's fine.
That's what I mean. Just got to worry about the trucks.
Right.
But that'll help her pass and stuff like that. Just get up to speed. And, it's like all new drivers when she turns, she turns and then she's going slow the whole turn. I'm like, you got to learn how to accelerate out of that turn, man. It's like she turns and then she's just sitting there. And you're like, cars are coming. Better get going. Pretty funny. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so that was my yesterday. I got the leak fixed, unburied it, buried it back up, cut the tree halfway back. Riley's got to go back and like, we're just going to tear this tree like all the way down. I'm like, just cut it down to stems and we'll just let it regrow. It's too big. Nobody's trimmed it for a while. My fault. So I'm like, just cut it back. So he's going to go over on Thursday and finish all that. But let's see how low my water bill gets now.
Yeah.
It's been high. City Mason's like, oh, you're not using any more water than normal.
Well, it's all
crap.
going underground and it's going to the data center.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'm helping that city well out there underneath the ground and everything. I mean, there's a lot of water, man. So I'm excited to see what my bill's going to be coming up.
A word to the wise when you guys take off on Thursday. I had to take a buddy to the Mesa Gateway Airport this morning.
Dale, I drove all the way here. Dale drove all the way to my house.
And then back to
And back again, yes.
But the reason I say that is I think I saw no less than, not exaggerated, no less than 8 people pulled over.
Yeah, out by there?
I'm on the 101,
Okay.
then on the 202. We
Police-
took the
police
60 to Power Road.
Police
and-
are everywhere now.
Yeah. And so just, just don't go, hey, I'm going to
The reason why I asked out there is because we've had that 24 freeway. We've had some people have died on that 24 freeway.
Okay.
Because people are running red lights and stuff like that. So out where I am on that 202 and everything, police presence everywhere for like the last month and a
Yeah,
half.
okay.
Yeah. So out there, that's why I was asking you. if
I
it's
saw
out
them on the
there.
51.
Okay, so they're everywhere. Yeah.
Saw them, we took the 51 to
Yeah.
the 10.
Oh no, Ireland yesterday, like the speed limit was 45. Like she was 45 on the dot. She's like, I pay attention to speed limit. I'm like, all right, good for you. As long as you're on the speed limit, who cares?
Just don't be in the left
That's
lane.
what I said. I said, stay in the right lane, middle lane if you need to be, the people are turning right, just do all that stuff,
Right.
and things. And so, but she was like, yeah. No, I don't. When I drive, even on the way to California, I mean, I'll speed limit 75. I'll just put it at 80 and just go. Cruise control it at 80. I just let the guys going 100 fly by you. 80 is good enough for me.
Yeah.
Even on the inside freeways. Like we took that North 202 around today. How'd you come back? Actually,
I took the lower 202 to the 101, 101 to 202.
Oh, so you went down that way.
Yeah.
With all that construction.
I didn't know there was construction.
Yeah,
it wasn't too bad.
Oh, was it? Yeah. 'Cause
It
you
wasn't
never
too
know
bad.
on those what's going to be
Yeah.
closed and the traffic and all of that and everything. So you went down to the 101 and cut up. That's not a bad. That's just you went out of the way. You should have gone right on the 202 down to 60.
I
It's
made
another
it
whole
here.
thing. Yeah, it's a whole nother thing. Ethan says, I slept for 3 hours and 40 minutes yesterday during the day. Yeah, and this kid's giving me a hard time for taking a small nap.
3.5 hours for what? An 18-year-old young, vibrant boy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but he's getting up at 5 in the morning to come to work this summer.
What time is he staying up to?
Yeah,
what time's dad? What
you've
time's
now
dad?
caught on to the problem.
What time's dad? No curfew from dad?
No, he's a grown man. He can do it. I have to rely on him to wake me up in the morning. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's the problem. He's staying up till midnight one, so he needs to nap to make that work. Ethan also says we should take Dale to show him the one pedal since he doesn't know. That is true. My car is right outside. Not like you can
Well, you've never let me in it, just like you've
experience.
never
Well,
invited me to your house.
we'll just roll down the windows to get the stench out.
Yeah,
and then get in
don't, Dale, don't. No, you don't need to come in. Just jog alongside the car. I'll show you
Yeah,
how
I'll
it works.
show you.
I'll show you how
how
it works.
That's funny stuff. So how was Mesa Gateway this morning?
Yeah, obviously we left. I picked him up at 6:15 up by our house, and
Oh, that's good timing then.
yeah, smooth.
I did notice today was weird because we were running late. Ethan woke me up at 5:30. I went home and I'm not kidding you. I went upstairs and we went and got takeout for Olive Garden. So after I hopped out of the shower after getting all dirty and everything, I just threw on like gym shorts and like just a shirt. And I was like, I'll change later, whatever, no big deal. Went to Olive Garden, come back, woke up this morning. Ethan wakes me up, and I'm just still in the same clothes. What time is it? What's going on? So we were running late, but I noticed. So we took the North 202 around because to get on the US 60, there was all these big trucks going slow, and so I was like, I'll just take the 202. I noticed a lot more traffic today than normal,
Really?
but also we were
You're a
10
little bit
minutes,
later.
10 minutes behind than what we normally are. So we just got in the carpool lane and cruised by everybody.
That's the thing.
I was surprised. I was surprised at how much traffic was out there today. It hasn't been that way for a while, so I don't know what's happening.
Going to the airport was not nearly as bad because we had the carpool lane coming back. You drive by yourselves like.
Yeah, and that South 202 is there. That
Yeah,
is a
I
brutal
thought
freeway.
about that. I was
That's a
like, I
brutal
got because
freeway.
I know you can right at Powell Road. You can go right and take the loop 202
Yeah,
north
down to
and
US
then-
60 or the 202 north.
Right.
Yeah, that's how we go.
And I just said, you know what? It's
You would have gone right by the house. You could have waved as you drove by it at Elliott.
I'm just waving at
Not
in
really.
the distance.
I'm still 2 miles east once you get off the freeway at Elliott. You could have waved at the Meta data center right there if you wanted to. As
Wow.
You drove by it. But yeah, no, that's the problem with it. Just for future notice or when you got to pick them up. That South 202 can be a pain in the butt. So tend to avoid that with all the construction.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
cut up
saw
to
a lot
US
of
60.
construction signs, but there was no construction going on.
No, that's the problem. Yeah, but they shrink down lanes. They're widening the freeway, so you get you know how you're just going and all of a sudden the lane ends. And
Yeah.
everybody's got to merge over and it backs it up and all of that down there. But yeah, but you made it. Good for you. You made it. And for like 100 miles on your car. You had it like a me driving day this morning.
I filled up last night with a gas tank because I was a little over a quarter of a tank. I said, this might not get me around today.
It's a nice airport down there, though.
Very simple travel in and out. He said he was to the gate in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's very well. It's Allegiant and private jets and
Right.
stuff out there. The ASU's aviation school or whatever college is right there. The only danger you got with there, that's where Chandler Gilbert's campus is, the community college.
Okay.
So it's summertime, so you have to worry about that. But that'll get backed up with kids there and buses coming from main ASU
Oh.
campus out. 'Cause that's an ASU campus too. So you'll get those big buses of kids going from Tempe to out there for school. So you'll get stuck behind those stuff during the school year. But that's the only danger you got. Because that's like the only flight flying out at that time this morning. So
Right.
it's however many people fit on a plane is all that's there.
Right.
So it's actually really quick.
I said, well, I'm glad it only took you 5 minutes. It took us 45 minutes to get
That's
down
the
there.
problem.
But
And what, 30 minutes back over? 30, 40 minutes back over here?
I think I dropped him off at like 7:05 and got here at 7:45.
Yeah. So it's 35 minutes or so with no traffic. With traffic, 45 or so, 45, sometimes 50. So it's not too bad. It's a long trip.
But
Dell needs a nap now.
before we get to sports, I do need to understand.
Uh-oh.
Well, what is the official nap tally yesterday? Because I have
I took
an
one nap
18-year-old
and
saying
it was
3 naps.
And it was 30 minutes.
I have an 18-year-old saying there was 3 naps involved.
There wasn't. There was one. Why would I lie about it? It was one nap. It was about 30 minutes. It was because what was happening was me and my daughter were going to go to Chandler Gilbert Community College. We ended up not having to do that because she's into forensics right now and everything. So there was something that she was interested in. She can't take it till she's a junior. So we ended up not having to go down there. So then I'm sitting there. And I'm like, all right, well, now I just got to wait for Riley to text that he's on his way and all this stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting here. So I'm like, you know what? I'm a little tired. I'm just gonna take a quick nap, and I'll wake up when if he texts me and shows up or whatever. I'll wake up. So it'll be like, and it ended up being like 30 minutes because she came in and woke me up and goes, "Can we go to Hobby Lobby?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go."
She woke you up
Yeah.
to
Oh
go to
yeah. My
Hobby
kids
Lobby.
don't care if you're asleep. They're just like, "Get up! I want something."
Oh, what kind of ship you run
Me,
over
me,
there?
me, 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 me.
So, needless to say, we're now on Tuesday. You're leaving on Thursday, and you don't have a hotel.
No. Oh no. No, no.
You did see where all the warnings are: no swimming in Imperial Beach or Coronado or
Yeah, because of the
uh,
Mexico.
waste.
Yeah, that's been that way
Land.
for years.
Yeah, but certain times there's supposedly you can swim.
Well, because it goes out. Now the tides or whatever are
Yeah.
going inland, so that's why you can't do it. Yeah, that's why you go up north to the northern the upper side,
Northern
like La
San Diego.
Jolla, or there's another one we go to up there by SeaWorld. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. But yeah, those south beaches have been that way for years, Dale. All that Mexican sewage being just pumped into the ocean out there.
Listen to John Holmberg.
Did
He
he talk
talked about
it?
that day. Inform the public.
Is he telling the public that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know anybody that goes to San Diego in the summer knows about this. I don't remember the last time I wasn't known about that.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the only one out there.
No, trust me, I'm not a beach guy. Beaches are grosses and disgusting and stuff like that. And I don't like getting wet with salt water. Once I do, I'm fine, but it's a chore to get me in there. But beaches are gross and everything. Trust me, Dale. I'm checking all the diseases off. Okay, is there an intake of this disease? No. Okay, we can go there. I'm checking it all out, man. I've always been it's weird. I didn't like sand. It's weird. I'm weird like that.
Well, you're weird in a lot of more ways
I'll
than just
grit my
that.
teeth. Was John talking about that today?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I think
I say,
maybe.
is he on
I think-
vacation next week and he's
I-
going to go there?
I think Brady's going there.
Oh, Brady's
yeah.
going. Brady better be careful. He's got
Yeah.
he's got that health issue. Well,
down to one kidney.
yeah, I mean, if my kidney gets attacked by some infectious flesh-eating disease, I got a second one. I know, but that's a real thing. You should know that being Coronado. You should have known that going to Coronado all those years.
Yeah, but it wasn't every year. And again, we didn't go.
Yeah.
I don't go in the water very often.
And you're making fun of me because I said that too?
Well, I can see you frolicking.
Yeah, no, I've always been weird with beaches, man. Like, it's like my parents well, they used to, and now they confuse me with they'd say my brother did it, but it was me. They put down because I was born in California and stuff. They put down a like a towel on the beach
Right.
and put me on it when I was a baby. And I'd go to and I'd touch the sand and I just instantly just sit there. I don't mind it. It's just dirty. It's dirty, Dale. That's the problem. It's dirty.
You're a germaphobe.
But once I get in the water, then I'm fine. I'm that way with lakes too. I used to have a pontoon boat here and we take it out. And like until I got in the water, like I was just like, I don't want to get in this water. I don't want to get in. But once I get in, I'm fine. It's just forcing myself to get in. I have to like convince myself I'm not going to die of a flesh-eating bacteria. The problem is, Dale, I watched Jaws when I was a little kid. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually not afraid of animals. I just dirty. It's the dirtiness.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
No.
Everybody else is afraid of stingrays and crabs and all these other things that can attack them in the water. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that.
Well, it's always funny because I have two daughters, Hillary and Kendall, about 3 years apart, and we'd go to the beach back in the day when you didn't have to worry about sewage and
Yes.
all that.
Well, let me put it this: you didn't know about
Right,
the sewage.
right. But we go out walking on the beach, and Hillary would be like rolling around in the sand. The next thing you know, she's like taking
Eating it,
bites
yeah.
of sand, and then Kendall's like, "Carry me, carry
Yeah.
me."
Isn't that weird? How
Yeah.
because my brother and sister would be like, "Beach, let's go," and I'm just like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope." Yeah, it's weird. Isn't that weird how personalities are
Yes.
different?
Yes.
So that'll be this week. I know. Listen to me complaining I have to go to San Diego. I know my life's rough.
You better get a stinking hotel room.
Bring on that Mexican sewage.
Guys gonna be staying on the streets.
That's okay. Then we'll fit into California. I mean, get tents. We'll just fit in.
I can imagine the look on your son's face.
I'll be like, we're gonna know how the other half lives.
Yeah, well, where's our hotel,
The
Dad?
weird part is we'd stay on the streets and we'd get a tent and then stay on the streets, and somehow we get a couple $100,000 checks from the California government. Get richer.
Steve McCullum at SMAC 500.
What? California's gonna get mad I'm saying that because they know it's true. They know it's true out there. We're good, Dale. Dale, we're good. Hotels are come by dime a dozen. You just pay a lot more for them when you get there. I usually stay in one up in La Jolla, like right off of La Jolla Cove, right there. And all they have are suites left. It's a really, really nice place. But because it's July 4th, the price is like triple what it normally is,
Oh.
and it's already expensive. And I'm like, "Yep, we're not staying there."
I can't imagine.
Well, it's July 4th on a Saturday. It's just everything's gonna be out of whack now, you know.
Yeah.
So, well, Ethan says, "Why book a day out when you can book a hotel 1 hour before we get into town?" That's right, Ethan. Ethan knows his dad. So I think last time we went on to San Diego, like Ethan's driving and he's all, "Book a hotel yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll look at it in a little bit." Like we're in California driving, and I'm like, "Yeah, I should probably find
So you looked up from your knitting.
a place."
Let me finish this last slip
Yeah,
knot.
I gotta get. I'm trying to finish this blanket real quick, so we're warm while we're out there. So I have a blanket for the beach, and I'll get sand all over me. That's what I'm doing. Oh lordy, out there, man. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yes,
Dale.
we do.
Besides, now I'm all grossed out.
Is Bruce Cooper coming in?
I haven't heard from him. I'm assuming so. Let me check my phone. He's scheduled to.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Boy.
So we should be good to go on that.
San Diego. Thursday, high 74, then 75 Friday, 76 Saturday, 76 Sunday. Lows in the 60s.
Ooh, bring a jacket.
Ah,
A high of, it's a humid high though, so it's a little warmer. Got to worry about it, you know.
not humid like wherever that soccer game was played yesterday.
Oh,
Tijuana?
hot, huh?
No, Monterey.
Monterey, yeah, whatever it was.
I played in that stadium.
No,
Maybe not that
I was
stadium.
gonna
but
say
man,
that stadium's got to be newer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old. You watch some soccer yesterday?
I did watch some soccer.
That was
Watch
what a great day of World Cup soccer. I got to be honest with you.
I
That was
saw
fantastic.
your tweet.
That was so much fun yesterday.
The game that I watched was Morocco Netherlands. Brooke and I watched probably the second half, most of the second half of that.
Yeah, I told everybody Morocco was going to win that. I told you yesterday.
You did?
I did.
I guess I wasn't listening.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I told you Morocco's going to win that one. Now it's shockingly right. Brazil barely beat Japan. Had to go to that stoppage time to beat them. Penalty kicks for the other two games. Morocco beat Netherlands in the penalty kicks,
Yeah.
and then Paraguay beat Germany. Paraguay, who got destroyed by the U.S.
Does
Beat
that
Germany.
bode well for the United States?
Well, I don't know. We'll see today. Let me put it this way: we'll see today. Here's my question: in the round of 32, was yesterday like the Thursday in the NCAA tournament? And what I mean by that is you get all those upsets on the Thursday, but not on the Friday, because then every coach is going, "You just see these guys got beat, so you can get beat if you don't play well." So everybody wakes up and plays well on Friday, but on Thursday they kind of. Is that what happened in this? We'll find out today. Because obviously, some big powers went down yesterday. First time since 2018, two top 10 FIFA teams have been eliminated in the first round of a knockout stage of the World Cup.
And one was Germany and Netherlands?
Netherlands was the other one. Germany was ranked 10th. Netherlands were ranked 8th.
Really?
Yeah, big deal there, right? From that side. It was shocking results yesterday. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it a ton. I'm looking forward to today. Less excited about today's games. Ivory Coast, Norway today at 10. France, Sweden. This is going to be a great game. France should win this at 2 p.m. today. But again, if they don't show up. And then you got Mexico and Ecuador today. Remember yesterday, Dale? Since you weren't listening, I'll recreate it for you. Remember yesterday I was talking about it, and I said, "Good luck, Ecuador. They're playing in Mexico,
Right.
Mexico
Mexico
City."
City, correct?
On top of it, good luck. You're not. You're not. Good luck to you. You rabid fan base. Then overnight, did you see this? Mexico fans were outside the Ecuadorian hotel making as much noise as possible all night long, honking horns. Thousands of people, so they can't sleep. There's thousands of people outside making noise so Ecuador can't sleep for the game tonight at 6 p.m. Good luck, Ecuador. That's all I can say is good freaking luck. The crowd's going to be against you. They're going to be yelling things. It's going to be rabid in there. Just if Ecuador pulls this off today, it'll be the greatest upset in World Cup
Well, if they
history.
don't play till 6, maybe they could get an Ethan McCullough nap.
They
in
go
today.
to the stadium to warm up, and they all just take a nap instead. Yeah, that happened yesterday down there as well. So rabid fan
People used to
base.
do that to us. They'd pull the fire alarm
You're-
like middle of the morning.
You're who I thought of when I was seeing that this morning. I was sitting there and I was like, they'll tell stories about people doing that to the Cowboys. before
Pulling
game."
the fire alarm, and you get jolted out of bed, out of your dead sleep, and a lot of times it's hard to go right back to sleep once you realize it's not a fire
Well,
alarm.
that's the problem, right? You get up all like, oh, then you're kind of up. So we'll have to see how that's 6 p.m. I expect Mexico to win that game regardless of their fan base there. But that's just good luck, Ecuador. That's all I'm going to say. At least you're halfway home. I'm assuming Ecuador's on the equator. Right? Anybody help me out with that?
That's
I-
probably a pretty good guess.
I did see this thing over the weekend where this guy was like, he was traveling. Maybe it was on Kill Tony. A comedian was on there. I don't remember, but I was watching something yesterday, and the guy was like, the hardest thing to tell like other countries is like when they complain about the U.S. So like he did a tour through South America and was just doing personal stuff and did a tour down there. He goes, and the hardest thing is like they just complain about the U.S. and how the U.S. is trying to keep them down and do all this stuff. And he goes, the hardest thing to tell them was, we don't even know where their countries are at. We don't even know they exist.
Right.
And he was talking about Uruguay or something like that. He was talking about one of those types of countries. And it just made me giggle because I'm like, you're so right. Like, how much attention is like Ecuador today paying attention? They're like, oh, stupid Mexico. We got to play Mexico in Mexico. And Mexico's like, where's Ecuador at?
Well, maybe Mexico knows.
I know, but it's just
But we
kinda,
don't.
it's kind of the funny thing is
Yeah.
like all they did, they said that everywhere he went, people were complaining about the U.S. does this to them and do that to them. And he was just like, I don't even know you existed till I got, I'm in your country and I don't even know this place
Right.
exists. It just made me laugh. So yesterday, hopefully today is as good as yesterday was on the World Cup stuff. That was fun yesterday, folks. If you didn't catch it, it was fun. Then all the people have to gripe. People complain, oh, I don't understand offsides. Offsides isn't that difficult if you pay attention, sports fans. It's really not. But that's also why hockey struggles. Hockey struggles because why? People don't understand the rules. Offsides. People don't like how it's like a 1-0 game, 1-0 game, stuff like that. The scoring's an issue too with this stuff. When it's literally like Japan Brazil was 1-1, and if you don't know what they're doing, it was a snoozer of a game to you. I understand that. And then all of a sudden it got great again. My other favorite thing I saw was somebody said, I think I figured out offsides. If anything exciting happens, that's offsides. And it made me laugh because it is so true. Because you'll see this big fantastic play and somebody will score, everybody will celebrate, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, offsides, and everybody goes, oh.
Well, and my buddy and I were talking on the way out to the airport, and I said, the thing about soccer is I'm learning little bits at a time.
Mhm.
I know there's a rhyme or reason. And a little bit like hockey, I always said, just looks like helter-skelter. People are just flying around and whatever. And some hockey players I talked to said, no, we have plays.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can be thwarted. And so me not understanding those two sports takes some of the enjoyment away from me. I said, it's like when I talk to some people who just don't like football.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because they don't understand it, they'll be like, why do you hand the ball off to run up the middle where everybody is?
Yeah.
And you're going, oh, well, there's a strategy and
Yeah, so
whatever.
it's like if you watch the game of soccer, you don't know what they're doing. They're just passing the ball like across the field and back again.
Yeah.
And you're like, "This is stupid. What are you doing?" They're creating space. They're actually setting up, and then they'll do a different pass, to open somebody that's open a running, making a run as they call it, and stuff like that. But if you don't know what they're doing, you're just like, "This is stupid." They're just passing, and then they'll be on the offensive end and they'll take the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
and you're like, What do you do?" So I can understand all that, but they actually are setting stuff up. They're doing that to create the space so you don't get all bunched up and stuff like that. So I get it.
Well,
Yesterday was so much fun.
and the other thing, so we stayed that Netherlands Morocco game because it did. Of course, the last 15, 20 minutes of it were pretty boring.
Yeah. The Germany game was really boring until the very end.
And then the extra time was mostly boring. There was like 2 or 3 spurts, and then it went back to kicking around.
I'm convinced at this level, when it gets to extra time, the overtime for us, I'm convinced they're playing for the tie.
And two things.
For the shots.
The 2 things jump out to me. Number 1, if I hear one more time, we think there's a little over a minute left, or we think that there's 2 minutes, but that blows my mind. But why, when the ball rolls out of bounds or there's celebration, why shouldn't the clock stop? So you know exactly how much time's left. That I'll never understand that. And then the penalty kicks. It's exciting.
How else do you solve it? You have to have a winner. You can't just let them play forever.
Oh, no. I enjoy the penalty
Oh,
kick
okay.
part of it, but I'm saying as far as the extra time, when there's somebody scores a goal, stop the clock, and then when the ball is kicked back into play, start it
No,
again.
you roll around the ground for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Man. You gotta add that time on.
I understand.
Well, no, when I was a kid, they didn't tell you how much time was left.
That's
Now they at least go plus 7 minutes.
yeah.
So now it can still change. and go along.
Yes.
But here's the other side of it. That's even worse. Is the time could run out. Like if it's plus 7, it could be at the 7-minute mark, but a team is advancing and has an opportunity to score.
They'll let
They
'em
will
go.
let them go until they do it. Yeah, they'll let it go and extend. And then when it gets a dead ball, they call it dead. Yeah.
And then the penalty kicks that be in Morocco, Netherlands, they're like 4 shots that completely miss the goal.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. The amount. It's a big goal, Dale.
I
It's a
know
big
it
goal.
is. And these
then-
guys are more. This isn't
Yeah.
you or I out
No.
there.
These are skilled
Yes.
snipers.
Yes.
No, the guys that missed penalty shots yesterday for Germany and Netherlands was shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking how they missed them. Yeah, that's just unheard of. Unheard of. But that's what makes it exciting, isn't it? Now, you could argue, because when I was a kid, you played until there was no penalty shots. You played until somebody won.
Oh.
That's where you get the golden goal, the guy that scores the goal to win the game and stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
good. That's what they were saying in extra time.
take
No
that away.
golden goal. I didn't know what that meant.
Because you score and the other team still get.
You still have to play the timeout.
Yeah.
Oh,
They took the golden goal away. So when I was a kid, it was exciting because if somebody scored, you win the game.
Yeah.
And they call that the golden goal. They took that out of the game, which is what I don't like. Now, so I'm okay. It's kind of like the ghost runner for regular season for baseball. I'm okay with it. Get the games over. It's regular season.
Right.
But you better not see it in the playoffs. They play 22 innings if they have to in playoff baseball. That is one thing. Now, in these early rounds, but when you get to the championship game, I think you should play until somebody scores.
It comes down to penalty
Because
kicks.
penalty kicks in a championship, it's exciting, but you want to see that guy that wins the World Cup with a game-winning goal in the third overtime period, fourth overtime period, and he's going to be a savior. He's going to have posters all over his country. Did you see South Korea? Their manager retired or quit because they didn't perform well, and everything. They purposely flew home and landed at 4 a.m. to try to beat the crowds so nobody would be mad. And people were still lined up at the airport,
The boo 'em.
hurling insults at them and calling them names because they didn't advance into the elimination. This sport is just different, man. Different. But they tried to come in at 4 a.m. to get around it. That's just an amazing thing also to deal with. So today's game's coming up, 10 o'clock. U.S. tomorrow, of course. We'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. Really quick, before we take a break and get Bruce in here, Lions released Arnold yesterday. Their 2024 first-round draft pick and starter cornerback. Of course, a little bit of trouble, to say it lightly. Felony accounts and stuff like that with him going on. Dan Campbell last week said, "Oh, we don't believe he was involved with it. To us, it's a nothing thing." And then they cut him yesterday. What does that tell you, Dan?
Well, that tells you that they got the facts of the case. Their investigator found out, and instead of toying around, and we'll continue to say that, we'll let the court run its course.
Dude, this is a big salary cap hit, 2024 draft pick. It's not. I mean, he's not making a huge amount of money. It's not going to kill him, but this is somebody you generally don't cut. That's what I agree with you. That tells me that they got the thing, and they're like, "Oh crap." We got to make a stand here.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing at the line. Because last week, man, he was like, "Oh, yeah, we're okay with it. We don't think he was involved." And now they're like, "All right, we got to get rid of our guy now." But that goes to the point of I talk about with Sorsby. You make the wrong draft pick on a guy that's got felony stuff against him, and he could be going to jail for a long time. You're wasting that draft pick, and teams are very careful about that, and that's probably why Sorsby's not going to get, a legit chance to get into the NFL, and we'll see next year in the draft. But that's why the penalties can be harsh on this type of stuff.
It just seems like Terrion, with the money that he has, could have gone about this in a much different way.
I'm not talking specifically about this situation because it's terrible. You shouldn't be involved in it, period. But on anything, man, like, you got people that can do stuff for you. I'm not talking about that stuff. Don't ever do that stuff. But just sometimes when people get in trouble, you're just like, really? You don't have a guy that could carry those drugs for you? So he takes the fall? Really?
And Arnold, really, it's not that big of a salary cap hit. He only has $5 million remaining on his rookie contract.
Well, he was a late first rounder because they were in the playoffs.
You get that big signing bonus.
Well, I'm just saying you don't cut your 2024 first round draft pick.
Well, he's their starter.
Yeah, very often. Yeah, it's a hit. It's going to set him back, obviously, and stuff like that. Interesting perspective there. Bruce Cooper's here. Let's take a break. Come on back.
Cool.
Here, and we'll be talking with him as well.
I wonder if he's ever made a penalty kick.
Can't even make a basket at the end of his
career. Or the beginning of a game.
Yeah. Come on back, folks. Main event.
Welcome back. It's the main event. It's Dale Hellestray. Steve had to step out of the room for a minute, take care of some personal business, and instead we bring in the esteemed member of our group. Comes in most Tuesdays when he's not cruising or out of town. And
speaking of out of town, pal, look. Last I saw, you were out of town last week. I sat in your chair last week, pal,
yes.
So let's get that straight.
And you probably felt pretty comfortable over here. A lot of room to spread out. But he is the one and only Bruce Cooper, formerly of Channel 12, still a local sports legend and doing a lot of things around the valley. Last week, Coop, you might have get a kick out of this. So I coached at Scottsdale Christian Academy for about 20 years.
Okay. And let me ask you a question. Did you guys ever win when you coached? A championship?
We won 2 state championships my last 2 years.
Rats.
Yeah. My last, I retired with the state championship. You know this because I know you've talked to the big guy, Brad Sessman. It's tough on my body to stand out in September and August for 3 hours on the practice field. And I just said, you know what? It's 110 degrees out. I'm 63 years old. I've had a nice run. And anyway, a kid that I coached probably now, at least 10 years ago, got married last weekend.
Okay.
Over in California, and got invited to the wedding.
Oh.
So that's pretty. It's pretty cool.
I'll let you off the hook on that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you still have relationships with kids that you coached, and him and I were talking. His dad was there, and I said, the first time I met you, you were a sophomore in high school, and just a snotty-nosed little brat. He ended up being my first all-state offensive lineman, but when I first met him, I'm like, if you would have thought that I would have a sit down, we'll meet for a beer here now and again, and if I'd have ever said I'm going to go spend half an hour with you and just talk, never my wildest imagination.
Yeah, but I like this. I like this fact right here.
Yeah.
See, since you've left Scottsdale Christian Academy, they've won championship state titles here.
They won one.
Yeah, that's all that matters because all we hear from you is that since you've left the Dallas Cowboys, they've never won another title. So you can't make that claim with Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. So I'm liking that.
I will acquiesce that maybe my presence isn't important in my 60s as it was in my 20s and 30s.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, that is funny. So we always talk. Steve and I, and whatever sports show I've been on, summertime, boy, it sucks when it comes to sports, mostly. You can talk some baseball, but you can't expand on one Diamondback game for, an hour. And you can talk about it in 10 minutes, and then you kind of move on. And there's really not June, and the NFL usually is not a whole lot going on. NBA now has picked up maybe the last year or two with free agency and things like that. So now we find ourselves in June because we're taking a couple Fridays off, and there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and including the NBA, which their free agency actually starts at signing period starts at 3 p.m. this afternoon local time. So and of course all the trades that are taking place.
Yes, Kuba, I want to ask you one quick question, and we'll get into what I know you want to talk about. So. Your boy, the Beard, James Harden, declined a $42 million player option. Did you ever sit in front of the NBC brass and say, I'm declining my option for $42 million, saying I want more and I want a longer deal?
Well, yeah, and he's going to get that. So what if he plays this year? He plays for $42 million, and there's nothing beyond. He's got to find another suitor. But if he opts out and that team like Cleveland is still interested in him, they're talking about a 2-year, $90 million deal extension, which would be $45 a year.
Right.
And it's an additional $45 that he doesn't have right now at $42.
Right.
So look, but to answer your question, no, I mean this is insane to me. I would never opt out of a deal like that. Are you kidding me?
Now that there's talks and hey, you do this and we'll do that, and you have to be pretty confident in the person that you're dealing with. But anytime I see a guy not opt in on over $40 million, just make you shake your head of the place we are in sports. Yeah,
and now if you want to talk about and I know it's not the same money, but $27.7 million is nothing to sneeze at. But I respect Draymond Green. See, Draymond Green is opting out for different reasons.
Yes.
He's opting out to give the Golden State Warriors a chance to make a deal to go acquire Anthony Davis and then have some money left to and it's not going to be big money because they don't have that much money on the cap. But if you can get LeBron James in for $15 million, well, Draymond's ready to take a minuscule deal. I mean, because
take less.
Yeah, he dreams of playing with Steph, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and himself. I mean, look, I think the average age of those four is something around 37, 38
I
years
think
of age.
I saw on ESPN 37 and plus, some months.
Yeah, and Anthony Davis is the youngest of them at 32. But shoot, man, the way this guy's health goes, I mean, you think he's 42.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know that. I think it'd be a great story. I know the Bay Area fans would go nuts.
Yes.
And
I think it'd be a great NBA story.
Well, they're going to max out the maximum amount of national TV games that they can have,
right?
And every game they go into is going to be sold out. But I still don't think that they have what it takes to overtake an OKC or a San Antonio in the West.
Right? No, I don't either. But I think it'd be a great NBA story.
I love it. I love it.
And I'd love to see them all be healthy going into a playoff series against one of those two teams, just to see what would happen. But let's bring it closer to home. Now, I think there was some consternation that the Suns were kind of done with what they're going to do after the draft and kind of run the same thing back. And you had a couple guys that did the same thing, and Grayson Allen and Orlando
Royce O'Neal.
Why don't I like Orlando Woolridge, who was coming to my mind.
You're going back. You're going back.
Yeah, that's old school. But obviously, they made the trade for the Miles kid from Charlotte. Almost said Chaparral, from Charlotte. Let's just start there. Your initial thoughts on number one, them making the deal, and then maybe come back with what you think he can bring to the Suns, good, bad, and different.
Okay. Well, I love the deal.
Okay.
Absolutely. Look, I'll go back to my draft that I've shared with Steve and you and stuff. I'm trying to get rid of both Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal.
Right.
Because I've said on this very show that, if they're not hitting their shots, they don't bring much more value to your team. And so after watching the Spurs series with the Knicks and also Spurs with the Thunder, I became fans of Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper because, the way they get downhill to the basket with some physicality is very impressive. Yeah. I've never seen a guard or a wing, overpower and take Lou Dort out of his game. Stephon Castle completely took Lou Dort out of that series. Because, no one backs down that football body that he has, but Stephon Castle did it.
Right.
And so it was impressive. So I said, you know what? For the Phoenix Suns, I need more downhill attackers. The best I have is Jalen Green, and Jalen Green gets there with quickness. Now, look, the guys that I wanted for the Suns, Cameron Carr, ex of Baylor, that the Lakers traded up from 25 to 24 to get, and Dalen Swain from Texas that the Bulls took at number 15 after they took Caleb Wilson at 4. Those are the two guys I had eyed for the Suns to get, but they get downhill more like Jalen Green does. Okay. Quickness, speed, athleticism. I'm telling you, Miles Bridges is a guy that brings a lot of that Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper stuff. He gets down there with power and force. And look, Dale, I know there's a legion of Suns fans that are disappointed in this trade because of the character issues and some of the off the court issues that he's had. But I promise you, once they see this guy playing, and he's going to get them out of their seats because he's an electrifying and forceful slam dunker. He's a amphibious, I should say ambidextrous for those who don't get that. Yeah. He's a left-hander, but he can finish either layup or slam dunk with his right hand. He's very skilled. He can run the floor in transition. He's explosive at getting to the rack. He has a step back three. He's not as consistent with it as you'd like to be, but he's an athlete that gives the Suns a different dynamic on that team than what they had. I was not in favor of them running it back.
Right.
They needed to make some changes, and now they're becoming more athletic and dynamic with Bridges. Now, I'm not asking Suns fans to discount or forgive Miles Bridges, but as we know in athletics, there's always a team out there that will take on some. Yeah, and look. Dallas was did that a lot
Right.
in their day. And look, if I'm weighing the two options, and I'm not, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying, I don't condone violence, let alone domestic violence on a woman in the least. But I look at what Portland's taking on with John Morant.
Mhm.
I mean, this guy is. I don't know that I want to go that route. You know, and I'm not trying to, but I've seen Miles Bridges, and his case has been adjudicated, and in the 3 years since, we haven't seen him get in any trouble with the
law.
With the law. Now, I want to go back to here in Phoenix. There was a situation with Jason Kidd and his wife at the time, Jemana.
Oh.
I know a lot of Suns fans remember this. He's in a drive-through at Taco Bell, and his son TJ's in the car, and a domestic issue takes place. Jason gets suspended, and Jerry Colangelo ultimately sent him off to New Jersey, got rid of him.
Right.
They're not going to have that here. Well, Jason Kidd never got in any more trouble as it relates to domestic violence. He led the Nets to 2 NBA finals. So I'm not saying that Miles Bridges is going to be that, but he's already been given a second chance, and he's been playing in this league for the last 3 years, beyond that.
Right.
And so I'm not here to try and judge the guy or anything like that. I just know this. It's covering sports most of my life. There are teams that will always take a chance. Now, keep in mind, we just a few weeks ago, we were in this very studio talking about which team would take a chance on Brendan Sorsby.
Right.
Now, I like that the Commissioner Tackley who stepped in. And he said, "Hey, look,
It's not Tagliabue.
I know. It's not Tackley.
Now you said his name.
I'm losing the name. Gosh darn. Oh my gosh.
I can see his face.
I can't. He gets booed every time.
Say it again.
I can't even.
Say it again.
I can't even think of Commissioner NFL.
Oh,
Commissioner's
I
name.
thought you were saying the commissioner's name.
Yeah, I can't. Look, forgive me. I can't. I'm not going to go to Pete Rozelle. I did go to Paul Tagliabue, but I realize that's not it.
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell.
Yes, that would drive me crazy.
It really was. Yeah. So Goodell says to Sorby, "Hey, look, dude, we're not going to set this precedent where someone can go afoul of the law. Challenge the integrity of a sport, and then we're going to reward you by allowing you to come play. It's not going to work like that.
Right.
You're not. You take the year off. You think about this. You get some more rehab help. And so I like that. But it takes all those 32 teams off the hook. Now, trust me, someone in 2027 is going to draft Brendan Sorsby.
Yes.
And they're going to take a chance. And so, look, I was here when, I don't know if you remember a guy named Dexter Manley.
Oh, yeah.
Dexter Manley, ex of the Washington, they were the Washington Redskins back then. He had a lot of off the field issues.
Yes.
Well, he signed with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he's one of my fondest interviews, one of the fondest players I've ever been around. I mean, I'm like, dude, how is it that you had this Well, look, he had a lot of drug issues and stuff,
Yes,
so we know that.
yeah.
And then I'll tell you another guy, Charles Barkley. When the Suns acquired Charles Barkley,
Right.
and granted, I want you guys to understand, I'm not trying to at all say that what they did, Barkley or Manley or John Morant, anybody comes close to domestic violence and beating them. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that someone's going to take a chance on them, and Charlotte Hornets for the last 3 years have. And we've seen Bridges not go that route again, and hopefully he never does again. But I'm just saying that teams do take a chance on guys. And when Barkley came here, he had this reputation. I'll be honest, the first time I got around him to interview, I walked around on eggshells because I'm believing his reputation that preceded him, the reputation that he garnered in Philadelphia. I mean, this dude's throwing people through glass plates, windows, and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, he came with the, but he was the nicest, most accommodating individual. And so I'm like, man, something really must have happened for him to do things like that. But hey, I'm willing to give Bridges a second chance because he's already been given that second chance in the NBA by the Charlotte Hornets. So we'll see what happens. I do like the trade. And so the Suns are getting a very explosive athlete. a guy who, I know a lot of people talk about, well, he's not that great defensively. Bill, look, when me and you, and especially me, I've never played professionally, but I do. But the game is still it's still relative. Defense is just a will or a mindset.
Right.
This kid has the athletic ability to do it. I don't know if people will recall they're playing just this past basketball playoff season. The Hornets are playing the Miami Heat in a play-in game. Winner moves on as the 8th seed. Well, there was a chance, or it was either a 7th or 8th seed. I can't remember which game it was, but the Heat are driving for the final shot of the game-winning shot, last shot time. Block shot, Miles Bridges. Game saved. Hornets win 125-124. So I'm just saying that he brings a lot of things that you're not going to get from Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal overall. Now, when Royce and Grayson Allen are hitting their shots, their three-point shots, oh, dude, you want them on their squad. So I can understand why Charlotte would want both those players, especially knowing that Miles Bridges, this is a contract year for him. His deal is up next season. And so they're probably looking and saying, do we really want, we really don't, we'll let somebody else deal that. In the meantime, let's bring some more veteran players on here that can get us better our opportunities to advance in the playoffs.
The thing that's always perplexing to me is, number one, I agree with almost everything you said. The fact that anytime you say something positive about it, we'll just use Miles Bridges.
Okay.
There's a 50% of the people out there that are saying, "Oh, you're condoning what he did."
Right.
And as a guy with 2 daughters and a wife, and you have a daughter and a wife, couldn't be further from the truth.
Absolutely.
It's abhorrent what he did, and so that's that. What I always, chuckle's not the right word, but it's frustrating to me when people look to a professional league, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, as the moral police.
Yeah.
Your job as a professional team is to win games. That's what you're there for. There's a law out there to adjudicate what people do, whether you're an athlete or not an athlete, and there's jails and prison and all those things. And so when the law does what it's supposed to do, and then people look to the NBA or NFL and go, well, you should suspend him for a year, or you should do, or you should, or you should. But hold on. In the very next breath, you want me to win. And so I've always struggled with that moral police part, and looking at a professional league saying, well, you guys need to take care of that, which doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating. Obviously, we got more to talk about. We're going to have to take a break. But then you've got the Detroit Lions, who took a different approach today. And we'll get into that right after the break. What they did with Terrion Arnold. He's Bruce Cooper, the legendary Bruce Cooper. I'm Dale Hellestray. Steve may or may not join us here as we come back from break. But if not, Coop and I will carry it to the finish line.
Who needs Steve, right?
Yeah, who needs Steve? He gets an awful.